What is up, unfinished businessers? This is episode 24. Jeff Gordon, yeehaw. Welcome.
Is that what we're calling ourselves now?
Jeff
I
Gordon.
don't know.
Unfinished businessers? Yeah.
Businessers?
Jeff Gordon
idea.
fans. What's up, Jeff
Businessman.
Gordon fans?
Yo, shout out Jeff
businessman.
Gordon, man. All right, we'll go around in circles, starting with Matt. You have to name one NASCAR driver. Go. Matt.
Lightning McQueen.
That's not it. Corey, what do you got?
Insane poll.
Dang it. Colonel Sanders.
And Taylor, do you know any NASCAR drivers?
Joey Logano.
Yes, let's go. You don't know anything, Matt? You don't know any old ones? It could be any of them.
No.
Bro, I grew up
Not
in
a
rural
clue.
Tennessee, man.
Yeah, dude. Let's go. Bristol Motor Speedway, baby.
I don't got a thing as far as NASCAR drivers go. I can tell you that.
Welcome
Wasn't
to
there a- wasn't
Unfinished
there a
Business,
junior?
the official NASCAR podcast.
Wasn't there a junior that died or something like that?
Bro.
No, that
come on.
was Earnhardt.
Oh,
died.
I was gonna say I could
Oh,
definitely
Dale.
just have gone.
Yeah,
Dale-
wasn't it Dale
Earnhardt.
Earnhardt Jr.?
Never three,
No,
never
juniors,
forget. Junior's still kicking.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
His dad died.
Disrespect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colonel Sanders.
Never
Jr.
forget.
This is Unfinished Business, presented by NASCAR. Yeah, so what's up, everybody? Welcome to it. Number 24. We rocking with it. We almost hit the same date we're recording with the number of episode. That would have been sick, but we just missed it. So it's because it's April 23rd. That's when we're recording.
April
So-
Fools.
April.
Also, I love that the poll for 24 is Jeff Gordon and not Kobe Bryant.
Oh, dang it. Well, Kobe Bryant could be like 8 as well.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, my dad, we watched NASCAR growing up. And so I actually saw a Jeff Gordon Instagram reel today. And anyways, it just made me think of that. So what is up, guys? We got a bunch of different questions that we're going to be talking about regarding this past weekend. We're going to be talking about Simon. We're going to be talking about Eagle and his busted, not shoulder, but his back. We're going to talk about who had a bad weekend in our mind and what are we going to be looking forward to moving forward. So, Corey, what hotel you at now?
I think it's a Hilton.
Nice.
It has the world's worst Wi-Fi. So I'm currently on my phone's hotspot. I am in Covington, Georgia, which is, for those Vampire Diaries fans, that's where they filmed it. So the Mystic Grill is like 5 minutes away. I'm playing some really fun courses. Might come back down here. Might bring you guys because these courses are awesome. Played Dundee Lake.
You got
filmed it.
excited.
The most incredible course, like landscape wise. Like I played the first hole and then I walked to hole 2's tee pad and I ran back to the car to get the camera because it was that awesome. Hole
Mom, get
2,
the camera.
you're throwing over like so there's a lake, there's a dam, and the dam creates I don't know if you want to consider it a waterfall, but you know when you see all those like rocks and then there's like the stream of water like going down them. That's you throw over that for like a cool par 3, and then you play another hole, and then you throw back over, and it's the coolest course. It could totally be on the Pro Tour. It's awesome. Played a course that's like 10 minutes from me. I filmed the longs when I got here last week, and then today I played the shorts twice because I didn't realize I was going to get through it so quickly. So I shot 2 down and then even, and I told all these guys that I was going to just demolish it, and I didn't. So that's cool. This is probably one of my new favorite discs.
I believe
It
the
is
exact
a
words
Baja
were
Blast
clapping
Zombie.
cheeks, but
Yeah, I didn't clap. I clapped my cheeks because there's a lot of hills.
Mm.
So, but this Baja Blast Zombie is the nicest disc in my bag right now. It's
I'm just
so
picturing
good.
Corey like leaning up against a tree, like bending over, like clapping his own cheeks.
That is
No,
a
I'm
great
walking.
YouTube
I'm
short
walking
right there.
up. I'm walking up the hill. I'm walking up the hill, and then you just hear like, yeah.
Oh, we know
So-
what you're saying, brother.
Yeah, but I wanted you to feel it, Matt.
I didn't want to feel it. I'll be honest. No part of me wanted to feel it.
So I played that. Tomorrow I'm playing a new course, Heritage Pines, I think. And Heritage Pine, I'm playing it with a possible partnership.
I thought you were going to say you're playing it with a possum.
I wish, dude. Okay. Taylor, do you have armadillos?
Not really here. Where I grew up, we did though.
There's armadillos, like there's dead ones everywhere.
Yeah.
Like they're just roadkill, but I can't find a live one, and I really
Yeah,
wanna
there were a
find
few that lived near our backyard when I was growing up.
That's so cool. Anyway, I'm playing a course tomorrow with a possible partnership or sponsorship. I'm not sure, but I'm going to be talking to this guy about some new endeavors. So
Hey.
yeah,
Let's go. Taylor, what's going on with you, man?
I am retired. I am never throwing a disc again. So I played probably the best round of my life. While I was playing it, I knew it was the best round of my life and I appreciated it. And now I am done. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, I played over the weekend and on our short course, my home course from the short tees, shot 14 down, I think. Something just stupid. No, honestly, I've been thinking a lot about that round and like, it honestly doesn't feel that different. It's just like what your mind's eye envisions when you're lining up a shot just happens and you don't like mess up. You don't have to go from there. But it was really fun. I am fully prepared to never do that again, but it was fun while it lasted. And I have a refrigerator now. So life is, we're coming back to normal.
First world problems, baby. Back on
17
track.
days, no fridge.
What has been the biggest benefit? All right, let me ask you this: what has been the hardest thing without a fridge, and what's been the thing you appreciate most about having your fridge?
I think that like the thing I've learned that like I did not appreciate that I now appreciate is just like readily being able to store things like leftovers or so, especially since we couldn't make anything. It was also like, hey, we're getting takeout, but we also can't put this anywhere if we don't like eat all of it. The hardest thing is we are both big water folks, and I am definitely one of those people that like if I don't have ice water, like water is disgusting. Like water in most drinks have to be very cold for me. So like having to go to local stores / those little ice stands and just buy ice all the time was very annoying.
That's awesome. I mean, not awesome, but I mean like yeah.
But we're back.
That's cool. And hopefully, are you going to play any disc golf by the time you go to Charlotte?
Oh, surely. Yeah.
Okay.
It just, I won't say it's disc golf because it's not what now I know that, the truth is out there. The 14 down exists. Now it's just like every time I go play, I'm like, why am I not like throwing good? Like what happened?
Yeah. Was there any like mental thing you were doing?
No.
Just,
I would say
one of those
nothing
days.
different. It was just one of those days. Like I literally like when I like looked at a line, I was like, I want to throw the disc here. I threw the disc there, and like on the angle,
and you made the putt.
And yeah, I was gonna say the other half is like honestly every putt within like 45, I missed a couple, but like things were just going in. So, but yeah, the biggest thing was like, I'm sure most people do something similar where like you look to a tee shot or an approach or something. It's like, I want to throw here on this angle and kind of like have it fly this way. And then I just did it. And there was no like deviation from that, it was wild. I guess that's what it feels like to be good. And it was fun for a day. And now I know that, probably not coming back.
That's sick. What was the U-disc rating? Do you remember?
260 something. I think it was 261. Yeah. Also,
So
I just looked, Corey, you were less than
U-disc...
4 hours from me currently. I feel so close to you.
We could probably hang out after work one day. But how does U-disc work, the ratings? Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I read a ton of details on it because I was interested because they're like predicting it in some way. And so I read like 14 articles on it. And it's just like, hey, it's just harder every time. One stroke less is just harder to get. So -11 compared to -12 is harder to get. So you get more points for that.
Yeah,
14,
like from
weird.
their write up, I think like 200 to 300 is like the advanced, like 300 being pro level kind of.
Yeah.
Just or like I don't know, estimation is the word I'm looking for, but I don't know as far as specifically like how the rating's calculated. I know it does like I have some courses near me that won't give you a rating yet because there's not enough data on like people playing rounds on the layout. So I know it weighs in like how people typically play there, but I'd be really curious to see like how recent rounds and like propagators and like how things like that work within the algorithm.
It has to be like a smart layout too,
Yeah.
quote unquote, too.
Yeah.
Before it gives you one. Matt, what was your disc golf like this past week?
It was good. I hurt my hip flexor last week at a tournament. I felt
Nerd.
amazing. I drove up to Tyler this weekend. I played Iron Hill. It was super fun. I felt terrible. My leg felt like it was going to fall off. And I was like, I don't know if I can even finish out the course. I did.
And let the people know, I warned you.
You warned me, but I was legitimately through the first like 5 holes. I was like parring and making long putts, and I was like, I'm gonna win MA3 on Saturday. Like no one can stop me. I am unbeatable. And then the one hole I threw it, like my hip flexor like twinged a little bit, and then after that I was like, I might need to go to MA5, MA6 if it exists. Like I gotta make this. So I played a practice round with Tyler. That was a lot of fun. Tyler, tell him about my putting. Am I actually a good putter or no?
So Matt gets to the course, doesn't really warm
That
up.
answers everything for us.
What?
So Matt
Am I a
was
good
there.
putter? Well, so
Oh, we
Matt-
showed
He got
up.
to the course.
I mean, I can just say yes, or I can say showed
Oh,
up to the
go for it.
course, didn't warm up, and we just went on our way and made like every putt for like the first 9 holes. And I was like, dang, dude, he really is making everything. And seriously, you were like right there making every putt. I was like, whoa.
every putt.
So what
from
was
4 feet?
from 10 feet and in? So what was you guys? I'll let Tyler answer first, and then Matt. What was like the thing about each other's games that surprised you the most? That's what I'm looking forward to in Charlotte. Just being like, we've talked about disc golf and everything for a while, but just like seeing, like obviously seeing somebody play and like their game is a way different beast. So like, what surprised you the most about each other's games?
Honest to God, I would say the putting. I mean, I never doubted really Matt, but
He doubted.
but like he talked it up so much that I was like, all right, how good is this thing? And then he made like everything, and it was coming out of his hands so smooth. And then at some point I was like, give me those putters. What are these things? And then I had to
Give me
like
those putters.
I had to like I had to like putt with them.
I test this. He's got
yeah.
sticky stuff in here, man.
Yeah. I mean, I was hitting my putts too, but still I was like, I got to see these things. Matt's putting is good. And what actually is really funny is that I heard Matt have some snap in his throw, even on his shots that weren't going like that far. And I'm like, how in the world does
No,
he
that
have
was his
snap?
hip flexor.
That's what that was.
Okay,
That's
no.
what it was.
This is actually hilarious. On top of this, me and Tyler are playing. My hip flexor feels bad. I'll say what I think about Tyler's game in a second here. Tyler's very good about telling you what you need to do on a course that you don't know. He'll be like, do exactly this. And if you do this, you will play well. Like, just listen to exactly what he told you to do, and you will do well. And he's like, throw an approach, throw it high, let it fade in. And so I take a pace, and I like try to put it really high in the air. It snaps off my fingers. I'm trying to go 80 feet. It snaps off my fingers so hard that my fingernail goes into the skin on my thumb, and my thumb starts bleeding just in the middle of this round. And then I asked Tyler on Saturday, I was like, can you bring me, I was like, Tyler, can you bring me fingernail clippers? Because every time I pressed a disc, it pushed the nail back into the thumb and like made it hurt more. And so I had to like cut it away. It was actually the worst accidental thing I've ever done. But yeah, I always have a ton of snap on my drives, even though they go like 200 feet. So it's kind of an L for that reason. If
But
I were to say,
it's impressive that you have snap on like a 200-foot shot.
It's got to
Yeah,
be
it-
nose angle at that point, right? Like
it
that's
is
gotta
nose
be-
angle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we were chatting about. Matt was like, "What's one thing I need to work on?" I'm like, nose angle. That's
Yeah.
all it was.
I mean, that's all I've been working on. And then it was like I was getting to a place where it was coming out low, but really flat, like really nose down. And I was like, oh, okay, man. And then I hurt my hip flexor, and like I was like leaning back into my shots to like baby it the whole weekend. And I just like I knew it was. I was like, it's coming out nose up. I'm just gonna throw the flippiest stuff I have.
Like
And
Matt
just,
would
like,
be how I could describe Matt is that he's a phenomenal B player, doubles player, because I'll do all the throwing and everything like that, and I just need you to make the putt.
Yeah. And I always hit. I will say this about myself. I pretty much always hit fairways, even though they might not go that far. I always hit them. That's but after
Well,
round
that's
one.
how.
Yeah. But like after round one, I was with the guy who won MA3, and we got like halfway through. He's like, "You, my friend, are putting in the middle pretty consistently." And I was like, "Dude, I can't throw far. I need to be a good putter, and I need to put it in the middle of the fairway." As far as Tyler goes, I think Tyler plays the game way more like golf than anyone I've ever met. Like
Really?
every decision you make is I'm picking up my Wraith because my Wraith goes the farthest and I need it to go the farthest, so my approach is simplified. You're taking so much more into account. His forehand's really good. And his backhand's pretty dang good too. He definitely gets it high and gets it where it needs to go. But yeah, it's just like way more analytical than anyone else's game, which I appreciated because it made it really easy to know exactly what I needed to do on the course I was playing.
It's probably a gift and a curse because I can overthink things as well. So I try to keep it simple, but
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
yeah. So anyways, yeah, my portion of the tournament is I shot my best round in a tournament so far, round one. I shot over 950 and I was pretty much one back of the leader, and we were playing our normal layout, and
Too bad from someone else.
from who? What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Oh. I have no
Bro
idea.
is yapping it up. What in the heck?
We're just yapping.
What? You were too
What
bad
in
from
the
someone
world?
else.
I don't know what course.
Nothing.
I don't know. I don't get the joke.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, once you get the joke, you'll laugh.
He'll
Okay.
get there.
okay.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So then round two, I just I got really unlucky. I got amped up and I juiced some shots long of the basket into some OBs that I don't normally do, and I ended up getting top 5. It was a good tournament, good end of my run for a little while, but I putted a lot last week, and that really has just been the thing that's been missing from my game is practice putting. So I had a good practice putt routine throughout the week. Very, very simple. Very like mentally like just blank when I'm doing it too. I'm not focusing on anything. I'm just putting, and it paid off this week. So I can't wait to try to figure out the joke.
Someday. Hey, for reference, just so you guys know, this is how far the sandbagging was from the MA3 player I was with. His first round was a 55. And that was like, where were you even?
Is that a unit
Your first round was
or-
Tyler's first round was a 55. So both of their first rounds were 1 over. MA3 guy and Tyler.
But
And Tyler
I
was
played the
winning
longs.
and
I
they
played the
won.
longs though.
Oh, you're right, from round 1. So Tyler
Yeah.
had even better. But this guy was just literally just smoking. I mean, he was just obliterating people. He shot
out
better
there
than most of them. He was a little short guy, and he was just throwing the most athletic looking shot of all time. And he was just
It's
throwing
that complex, man.
he was literally just throwing a tomb on every shot. He was like 400 feet, and he's like, I'll throw a tomb, and and I'm like, that's OB, and it's a putter, so it just does not move left or right, and it just drops, and he's inbounds by like 4 feet, and I'm like, he was a super nice guy, but I was like, this guy was ripping, but he was a tomb enthusiast. I have to.
Or it could have been not where it could have been, but like, or this guy also had a round at the course that was like 1070 something rated, was stupid.
Oh
So,
yeah.
but anyways, it was a good tournament. Good to see Matt play. Nice to meet Matt.
Yeah.
I trust him now. He passed the vibe check. So we're good. We're good there. Matt's a good kid. So yeah, it was good. We had a good time. It was good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So all right, let's get
Was
into
it good,
some.
though?
I mean, it was good. I mean, it was good, man.
That
All right,
was
cool.
it. All right.
It was good.
We good?
It was good.
All right, good. All right, so let's get into some questions from this past weekend. So we had, I feel like it was like we had no expectations going into Music City. Nobody even remembered what the course looked like, and then all of a sudden, there's a bajillion storylines that came out of this weekend. So first question is, Simon won and pretty much smoked everybody and was ahead by like 3 or 4 strokes like the whole time. So is Simon officially back, or was this just a one-off because he was extremely hot with the putter? What do we got?
Simon is not officially back because he is not playing next weekend. So that's my take. No. I think Simon's one of those people, and he's talked about this before, how like when Simon has good tournaments, like nothing can go wrong for him. And like I feel like that was so highlighted by like Paul gets this, is like trying to chase him down and gets just a pretty nasty spit out on like a 70-footer through a tree. And then Simon throws up this like prayer straddle kneel that hits like left side and somehow catches. It's like when Simon's luck is on his side, like it is definitively like on his side and kicks go his way. Now, not taking anything away from his performance, like he made every putt he looked at, it felt like, but there were some solid breaks in there. And I feel like Simon, more than anybody, at least he'll admit to this, it really affects his mental, I think, more than anyone, where if he gets some good breaks early, that really fuels him to say like, this is my day. Like this is my tournament. I'm going to win, versus if some of those don't go his way early, I think it's kind of easy for him to go back into like, I'm going to put on a show for the crowd. Like luck's not on my side today. Like I'm just going to go like have fun.
He did get a lot of really good breaks coming down the stretch, and like he just made the look where you could tell he was just like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You know, it just happens. But his putting was like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like it's really a shame he's not going into the Champions Cup this weekend, because he's never been on his game more than honestly, the way he was playing, he's never been more on his game ever, especially with the
Did
putter.
he say why he's not going?
He's having a kid Thursday.
Oh, I didn't realize that was like now.
They have it scheduled up to get it done.
Okay.
So, Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. So the thing that I think is interesting about Simon's putting is like, and I kind of try and like relate this in my longer putts with Simon, is a very like, he pushes the putt from his hip almost, and it just spins really far. So I think part of it is like, when it's something like the Pixel, it's super glidey and super straight. As long as he spins it, it'll just go forever. And it's like, that makes it, he's not really worried about like, how far is it going to move left or right as much? Did it come off his hip right? And if that happened, like he's just chilling. And so when it happens right, it happens right, like nobody's business. But it was just insane. Some of the putts he was making. Zach Melton was on the course doing the commentary there, and he's just like, Wait, did Simon just make that? Oh, I can't believe I can't believe I just missed that shot or whatever. Like he's not even. It's like there's no way he made that.
Yeah, cool.
So he's just cracked. He was just playing well. But yeah, it does. I think it stinks that Simon's not playing this weekend. But I think more for his putting than his driving. I mean, his drives were good too, but he was making just everything.
Yeah, Corey, what do you think?
I think that I want to go back to Nashville and play that course now.
You feel bummed?
Yeah, because I had some opportunities and I totally didn't think anything of it because I didn't remember what the course looked like.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in the ground for very long after the event or for very long before the event. That course is not a permanent course. It's a temp course that they put in for the event.
Okay.
That's depressing.
I
Yeah.
did see. I do remember seeing some like temp baskets,
Mhm.
which like are the best baskets in the world, if you know what I mean.
Those veterans, man.
Garbage.
Yeah, that
Well, yeah,
we have
Simon's
the
amazing.
ungalvanized, not the step down from veterans at a course here, and those things are. I mean, like going back to that Paul putt that spit out, like you can hit. I mean, a legitimate perfect putt and it just not stay in the basket. Like I try not to complain about baskets, but those baskets are terrible.
Paul's circle 2 putt was so good and so perfect, and I don't know how that spits out. It was dead center.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, good, Corey.
Sorry, Corey.
Because it's more important for Simon to win than for everyone to get their hopes up about Paul.
Facts.
That's why. No, Simon. Yeah, Simon killed it, and I'm so glad. I mean, going back to a points game, I'm very happy that
You
he
picked
won.
him
But
first pick.
There it is.
yeah, so
A believer.
yeah, I think he can do that anywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say he chooses not to, because obviously if you could win everything, you would. But there definitely is some kind of like switch that he flips and he's like, yep, I'm going to do this. And then he just does it. So
Yeah. I wonder if like he's been saying lately, like, if I'm not feeling good, then that's just when I play better. I wonder if it's just that he's trying to think of playing a more simple game. I have no idea. Maybe he's playing a more simple game when he's hurt. The biggest difference is that he made every single putt this weekend. Honestly,
Yeah.
like
I
if
think
you look,
on a lot of it was that like the course, I don't know, at least what I watched, like the course didn't require a ton of like shaping or difficult shots off the tee. It was like just get in a spot where you can get an approach shot and get something close. And like if again, like Simon made literally every putt he looked at. So like at that point, you know, there's not a lot you can do to catch somebody off the tee. We'll get into it later, but Paul's front nine was very flat too. So I mean, and Simon's was just 8 of 9, like he was zooming out there. So once you're at
Stupid.
that point, I think like halfway through that 9, Simon's like, there's no way. Like if I'm getting these breaks and making this putt, there's no way that anyone's going to catch me.
yeah, and honestly, if you go back and watch that front nine, Simon and Paul had like almost I wouldn't say exact same putts, but like the exact same amount of like circle 2 putts, and Paul just didn't make his, and
Yeah.
Simon made his. Like honestly, that's the only really difference. So, I think that's what it comes down to. And it's funny though, because this weekend in my tournament, like I made every putt round 1, and it felt like I didn't throw any better than I did any other tournament. It's just I made more putts. So I think that's what it really comes down to. So, you know, a few episodes ago when we talked about, you know, is putting underrated, like good putting underrated? I'm always going to say yes, because Simon showed it this weekend. Like 8 of the first 9 was ridiculous in the third round. So, yeah, my opinion, Simon is back, but he's going to be gone for 2 months. So it's weird to say he's back because he's not back, but I think he's figured out like this season getting comfortable, because he keeps on saying he's been playing well, but he hasn't been seeing results. And to me, that sounds like he's been playing well, but he hasn't been putting the best. And now he found a good putter weekend, and now he's good.
Yeah.
So I think Simon, when he comes back, it would be really awesome if he won Worlds, especially when he played the course the first time and shredded Paul.
Yeah.
At Lynchburg.
Like I honestly feel like Simon's one of those players that like that round, like I feel like the best Simon is when he's first seeing a course and he's not trying to push things. Like if somebody can tell him like, hey, throw it here, and Simon's like, okay, I can execute that and not think about it too hard. Like I feel like Simon, and it may be again just that he talks about this more openly and like has the YouTube channel that, you know, it is more known, but I feel like Simon, more than a lot of players, gets like the mental game gets him more than other players, where like if he has expectations of how he wants to shoot, like I think that's why Simon historically has performed very poorly at the majors, because you know, one, he's like European Open, very important to him previously, very important to Discmania, but two, you know, just trying to cinch down that major, and he's playing on courses he's played 100 times, he knows what he's capable of on every hole, whereas you get Simon going in blind and just say, hey, throw a turnover to that spot, you know, he's one of the most talented in the world at just like putting a frisbee where it needs to go, if you take the mind out of it.
2 things. One, I should be his caddy And two, if you heard him say he never saw the back nine before the first round, he practiced the first 9, and then he said he didn't want to overdo it, and so that was it. So you're exactly right. Like, he goes into a course not really knowing what's going on. I think he's totally fine. Picks up, sees what he needs to do, and throws. I'll go down forever saying he's probably the most gifted to ever throw a disc. Right? Obviously, he's not the best, right? Because he hasn't won any majors, but I think he's the most gifted person ever throw a disc. He can do things that just nobody can do, and just knows disc. So cool.
You obviously don't know my Uncle Steve.
That's true.
Shout
Steve
out
might be
Steve.
Steve might be a shark. So shout out. Steve.
He actually called me not too long ago because my disc came out, and he was like, "That's crazy! I didn't know you played Frisbee golf. I used to play Frisbee all the time. I used to go up to Discraft and buy all my discs." And I was like, "This is like in the '80s too. This is like when Discraft didn't exist yet, kind of thing." And then he brought up, he was like, "Yeah, you should really check out this guy, Brody Smith." And I was like, "Well, funny. I've been on. I know him because I've been on podcasts with him." And he's like, "No way!" Freaking out. And then he called me like a couple days later just to tell me, "I still can't believe you know Brody Smith." so yeah, Uncle Steve, killing it,
dude. Uncle Steve, you just became like his favorite nephew, like out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're written into the will now, man.
Yeah, bro, you
Hey,
got it.
hey, send this to Brody.
And you know what he's giving you in the will? Old
Sky
Discraft
Streaks.
classics.
Sky Streaks, bro.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Got them puppies somewhere.
Well, going throughout the before the tournament started, we were super hype to see Eagle at his very first tournament after surgery, to the point where I even took him because he played well there last year, and then he decides Thursday morning or Friday morning, I'm backing out because apparently he was reaching in the back of his car for something and tweaked his back, and it's been a problem apparently. So essentially, he had a shoulder problem. He's been throwing. He's been in YouTube videos. He looked good. He was throwing over 600 feet, and now he's hurt his back. So my question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your concern level with Eagle after he withdrew from this past weekend? Are we concerned that this is just going to be a reoccurring thing with getting injured?
No, mainly because I've hurt myself in really stupid ways too. And it's just a coincidence that yes, he had like shoulder, like that whole thing. It basically ruined his season last year. And then this just coincidentally happened because I know I've reached in the back from my seat and like felt like I pulled Matt's hip flexor. So like, I don't know.
I felt that he pulled my hip
I've done that
flexor
before.
too.
So yeah, he could barely walk.
So what's your concern level, Corey? Give me a number.
8%.
Okay.
Dude, I feel like my concern level is pretty high.
Yeah.
I don't know, because here's the thing: he's like recovering. He's on Bedanza's channel throwing just full power drives, like nothing matters, and he's even saying like, I'm kind of taking it easy right now, but the disc is going ridiculously far and pretty.
That's why I'm not
accurately.
concerned.
And then he's gonna get. But I'm saying, you can't be telling me I'm not throwing the disc hard and then throw it like that, and be like. It kind of felt like maybe he was throwing the disc hard a little too early.
Look at AB. He can throw it 700 like whenever he wants. And then he'll throw a putter 450 and be like, yeah, that was half power. So like I understand if Eagle wasn't throwing full power and he's taking it easy and he's still throwing 600, that just makes sense. But for you to see on Bedanza that he's throwing it that well, and then he said, I messed up my back doing something really stupid, but I'll be back soon, like for the next tournament. I can understand that, which is why I'm not concerned that he's like just going to keep getting injured. So that's what I meant by that.
Is it possible that he kind of hurt his back while throwing, and then when he got in a really unusual position, he actually felt it though.
Probably not. Because there's definitely a different mechanic to throwing and reaching for. Like, I could feel this right now. Like, your back is so twisted. My shoulder feels like it's about to freaking like pop out, reaching back, like if that was the case. But this motion, I don't feel anything. So like, I don't know.
I don't
All
know.
I'm
I
saying
think
is, how much can MVP not afford to get this man a driver? Like, so somebody get this together, man. We put him in bubble wrap. Like, he's an asset at this point, man. Like,
get this
protect
guy
this
into
man.
a tournament. They just yeah, Taylor's actually right. We got to make sure.
This is my thing about Eagle though, is that he's all about like homeo whatever, like
Homeopathic remedies.
yeah. I mean all this stuff and also like exercise, and he's talked about like he's working with these people because they specialize in movements and strengthening in movements and doing handstands and all this stuff. And yet he reaches in the back of his car to get something and he hurts his back. Like, if he's doing all these things, how preventative are how are those exercises preventative to like these type of injuries? Like, is it just because he's getting older, or it was just really weird?
He's still getting used to meat, so
that's true. But
here's my thing though too. Go ahead and finish before I.
No, I'm just gonna. I was just saying, like, if he's going to a chiropractor like consistently, which is what it sounded like he was doing, why is his back having an issue? Like, that doesn't make sense to me, because I used to work for a chiropractor, and if you're going consistently, like, you can withstand a lot more if you're going and you're getting adjustments. But anyways, go ahead, Taylor.
No, I was just gonna say to kind of. I mean, it sucks that he got hurt, and I think it sucks for the fans, but like also I'm not that concerned with the level of severity, just because if I'm Eagle McMahon and I was vegan and can throw 7 billion feet, and I am debating, I have a major coming up next week that I kind of have a tweak, and I could see if I can push it to play in Music City Open, or I could just say like, hey, I'm going to go get ready for the major. I'm going to go get ready for the major. Like, MVP's paying me money. I don't need cash from this tournament. I'm chilling. So I feel like that if it was a more like prestigious tournament this week, like if he was skipping Champions Cup, I would have a lot more concern. But, just because of where we're at, and you're already like, you're going to have to get in a car and drive 7 hours to Champions Cup now. Like, and you just really don't want to push it for a tournament that, as a former Nashvilleian, I will say with confidence, doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to go get ready for the major at that point.
Yep. So what would be your percentage of concern for Eagle?
I'm going to say 7%.
Say 8.
To go below Corey.
Ooh.
Matt, what's your percent concern?
I'm not going to say crazy high, but I like
9.
30, 40.
Yeah. I would say for me, I'm very cynical and skeptical. So I'm going to go, I was originally going to say 40%. So I'll stick to 40%. I want to make sure that he can put it all together and be okay for a couple tournaments. My biggest concern is that he's going to feel good and then he's going to go for it and put the gas pedal down and overdo it. So,
which, I mean, we've seen him do that before. Like, we've seen him come back from the shoulder. I'm fine. Play Jonesboro round 2. I'm out of here. My shoulder hurts. Like, we've seen this happen before. So I definitely think that's warranted. I think I would just, one, I'm hopeful, but 2, it's just the lineup of events that makes me more confident that it's just like, hey, I'm going to go get right for the major and then see what happens from there.
Yeah.
When do you guys think we're going to get the Streamline time lapse? The non-overmold time lapse.
I don't know. He's got to get out. I mean, he got his envy, and he's got to actually get out there and play. I don't know.
I don't know if that's actually going to be his, but I know Simon threw like a non-overmold time lapse.
Well, let's be real about the time lapse. I haven't seen him throw it once in a tournament on coverage.
I haven't thought about that, but you're kind of right. I don't know if
he's been throwing.
Are we talking about Simon or are we talking about Eagle?
I switched over to Simon and just saying he's throwing the dimensions. So he has. Yeah. They didn't have a 12 speed, so they made one, and then Simon's like, "Yo, make it mine because it'll be my first in my lineup." but he hasn't thrown it in a tournament on coverage.
But y'all got these 14.5 speeds, and I throw real far, so
And they're also really
we get
overstable and
that.
consistent. So
yeah.
Paul doesn't throw a Zeus.
I mean,
so-
we know that, but I know.
But
I
I'm saying
know
it's the
that.
same thing.
Yeah,
It's
so like Eagle can have his streamlined 12 speed, but like he's not going to throw it. He's just not.
Oh no, I just meant in general. Like
Yeah.
when are they going to make the streamlined time lapse?
August 13th, it's coming out.
Is that a fact?
Oh, there's a date.
August
Or are you
13th.
just
I didn't know it
making
was
that
actually
up?
a thing.
It's not. No,
Oh.
I'm acting right now. No, I just made up a date.
That was
I
so
don't know.
good, man. I got
Sorry.
so excited.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Well,
I'm
you're
gonna go-
always looking up stupid stuff, so I thought maybe you had the stupid answer for that stupid question. Let's
Don't be-
move
I
on.
love
listen.
Streamline,
Don't
man.
hate the
Streamline
player,
is
hate the
sick.
game.
The pilot,
No, I'm gonna hate you.
sick. The trace, sick.
I really want to throw a trace.
All right, I want to throw a
Sick.
trace too. I might have to pick one up or bring get a couple at my local shop and I'll bring it down. I think they have a couple there. I'll have to go grab.
I'll bring
them.
it. I think I have mine here. I'll bring it to Charlotte. Those things are really good, though.
Sick. So yeah, I'm concerned 40% because last thing about this is that I tore my meniscus. They just snipped it in surgery, which means the healing time was like 3 weeks, not even a big deal, and I could go out and play soccer again. My knee didn't feel the same for a year, and it would swell up a little bit after every time for like a whole year. I could move and it was fine, but it wasn't the same for over a year. And he had a whole freaking thing done. So
Right.
I'm really hoping he's going to be okay. I mean, disc golf is better when we have Eagle. If you like him or you don't like him, right? It's like the freaking Pete Weber. You love me or hate me, you still watched, right? That should be Eagle's tagline as well. So, speaking of Eagle, he could be considered an old guard a little bit. But speaking of old guard, a lot of the old guard played well this weekend. We had Ricky up there. We had Jeremy Coling up there. We had Paul Macbeth making moves again. And Chris Dickerson played really well this past weekend. I guess we could throw him in as the old guard as well.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be any of those people, but out of all of the people who we would call the old guard, who impressed you the most? I will go first. I loved seeing. Oh man, I had a guy, and then now I want to switch up. I love seeing Chris Dickerson playing well. I'm just gonna say it. I want to say Paul, obviously, because there's so much hype behind that. But I love seeing Chris Dickerson play well. I feel like he was really close. He had a couple really bad breaks of OB, where if he was careful, he would have been right in it. But it's so good seeing him up there because he's such a good shot shaper and he's such a good putter. And it was really good seeing him play well. And I hope it all works out where his hip doesn't hinder him the rest of the season. I think this was really good for him going into Champions Cup because he has won that thing before with disc graft plastic. So I'll be keeping my eyes closely on Chris Dickerson going into Northwood Black for sure this weekend. So who do we got next? Who are we impressed with or enjoyed, I should say, too?
I gotta say Paul, but regional local guy Paul Oman. It was sick to see Paul Oman come out and shoot 1051 the first round. Like just a guy that has like a super like unique game and like just does things differently than a lot of people. It was cool to see him, and obviously like an old head that's been around forever. It was just I thought it was really cool to see him like come out and play well on a bigger stage. Like I think he gets a lot of like exposure earlier in the year because he plays a lot of tournaments that a lot of people don't play in like the seasons when we're starved for coverage, like the Mexico events and this year with the New Zealand stuff. But it was cool to see him with like a full field really kind of make a lead card and get to play in front of that kind of crowd.
And how about someone making the comment apparently where, the Paul's through and they were like, go Paul or something like that. And then Paul Oman was like, which one? Apparently it was a funny comment. Zach Melton put it on his Twitter account. So that was cool. They got to put them together. So Matt, who?
Have you ever seen I Think You Should Leave?
No.
It's the show with Tim Robinson.
Mm-mm.
It's all the memes of Tim Robinson. You know who that guy is? He's a comedian. He does like the, hey buddy, do you know how to drive? He's like, no, No, I don't know how to drive,
Oh,
and everything's so confusing. So he's a comedian from Detroit, and he made a show on Netflix called "I Think You Should Leave,"
I know what
and
you're
it's
talking
just
about
all
now.
skits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all skits
I'm
that
doing my
he
part.
presented to
I'm doing my
Saturday Night
part.
Live,
Right,
and
that
they
one.
just like,
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. Yeah. So so there's a skit where he's in a band, and the band is doing like gospel music, and the recording like or the studio is like, we're not really feeling this. So then the guy starts doing like Johnny Cash style stuff, and he's like, yeah, just follow my lead. And then Tim starts butting in and singing about like the most ridiculous thing. And then it kind of like throws everything off. And then the recording studio is like, yeah, we really liked what Billy was singing. And he goes, Billy isn't me or Billy isn't him? And he's like, wait, your name's Billy too? He's like, no, that's why I'm so confused. And it's just like, it is the stupidest thing. But if you watch it, it's definitely the whole Paul thing.
That's
It's like,
funny.
Paul me or Paul
That's
him?
funny. Matt, who did you get excited about?
Dude, I had to get excited about Jeremy Colling, bro. Where was that from? He plays a good two weekends in a
that
row.
last putt was so sick too.
Yeah, dude looks over and like someone it's clearly showing him the score. He has to make a nose up, like spinny, like 70-footer or whatever to make top 5, and he just waltz over on a knee, leg out, and just pops it in there.
Bangs that thing, dude.
Dude, what is happening? to
I'm just
Jeremy
gonna
Colling when he's
I'm
making
just
a
gonna
comeback?
say if the tournament was a Saturday Sunday tournament, Jeremy Colling would have won it. By the way, he shot.
I feel like that's his career.
Yeah, exactly. He shot 10 shots worse than Simon the first day,
Shoo.
and then he shot 56 the second day, which was 3 better than Simon, and then he shot 1 worse than Simon round 3, which means he would have beat him by 2.
I'm surprised there
crazy.
weren't. This is like more like course talk, but I was surprised there wasn't more like forehand or lefty specialist kind of guys towards the top this weekend. Just because I swear I was watching the final round and I looked over and every throw I saw Paul throw was a forehand.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
everyone.
it was a lot of forehanded shots, which was kind of funny because Nicklaus finished in the top 5, and we don't know him for a forehand guy, but his forehand is legit now. By the way, he
Didn't
banked.
he ace?
He banked the basket though.
No.
Oh, he has aced with the forehand. Yeah, back at Open in
Yeah.
Austin. Yeah.
Yeah, Austin.
Yeah. So his forehand is actually like legit. So yeah, if you're a forehand player, you should have tore the course up. Marwood finished in the top 13. Very consistent. So
Right, forget that. I was about to say something crazy.
that's
I was about to
awesome.
say, and Chris Clemens was up there, but I don't think Chris Clemens threw any backhands. So I didn't see a ton of backhands from him. So that doesn't support my
Chris
case.
is kind of funnily like the left hand sidearm specialist. Yeah, I like it's still like right hand, back
Yeah.
hand, basically.
Yeah, that's why I was like, if he threw more backhands, but no, I did too, because when I watched the practice round for Jomez, literally like 3/4 the shots, Big Jerm was like, oh, I can just force the forehand here. And there was like 2 shots he couldn't. And I was like,
Right.
yeah.
Corey, who did you get hype about?
Simon. I just love that whole like Michael Jordan thing where he kind of just he throws it and he's just like,
I don't know.
I don't know how that works, but like I love seeing that. I love seeing that more than I can't remember what year it was, but remember when Chris Dickerson aced and just grabbed his bag and like walked
Had
away?
no reaction.
Like he just turns around, walks away.
No, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was. He turned around and
that-
started thanking his sponsors before the disc even went in.
Oh, that was a YouTube video. That was hilarious.
Oh no, not that one. Not that one.
Oh,
yeah.
there's another one. Oh,
No,
okay.
there was,
It was
a
at Ledgestone.
tournament that he.
Hmm.
I think it was a.
No,
Was it
it was
hole
one of
one,
those
or was
in
it
the
hole-
middle of you. Yeah, something.
Maybe
but it was
11
one of
or
the
something like
shorter,
that?
like very, very wooded, like 250 holes, and he just, I mean, in the heart the whole way, hits chains, and he literally just has no reaction. He just like walks back to his bag, sits down, it's like
Classic.
it's like looking
Yeah.
around.
And that's like that. That is
Yeah.
now officially number 2 to Simon just doing the whole. Like, I don't really know. It's just working.
Yeah. When we were getting, was it end of round 2? we almost got Simon, Paul, and Ricky all on the same card. Paul Oman had to screw it up, but it's okay. It was cool to see him on lead card. But seeing if we were gonna have Ricky, Paul, and Simon on the same card, it would have been magical, and it would have been with Chris Dickerson too. I think.
Yeah,
What a card.
it would have been crazier with Jeremy, but I know that wouldn't happen.
It reminds me
Yeah.
of like the talk of like back in my day, like 2018 or so, like there were legitimate pushes for like lead cards to just be Paul, Ricky, Eagle, Simon, just for like ratings, or so people would watch. Because at that point, like,
Yeah.
if it's other people ain't watching. I also want to highlight too, like what you said, Tyler, just for any Mats out there or younger audience that haven't watched disc golf for a long time. I think it's important to say, and I 100% agree. I think Simon is the most talented frisbee thrower that our sport has seen today. Like, he doesn't have the success because he's wants to show off and like wants to please the crowd a lot of time, and I think the mental's not there. But like, just as far as like things you can do with a frisbee, like Simon is the most talented like we have seen play the game.
The craziest thing I've seen him do is ace 2 different baskets with one throw. That's
The two discs.
that's
Yeah.
stupid. Like
Yeah.
like so stupid.
I do want
Man.
to say one more thing about Simon. There is something about him when he's putting that looks more professional than anyone else.
I agree.
Like, I know there
Yeah.
was that phase of like Paul could like not miss, but he never looked like he was just a pro, like getting up there and just throwing it.
Well, he also had
And
like a faux hawk and frosted tips at the time, so like
Well, no, I mean, even after that phase, like
Simon
even
also
after
when he like
like
Simon throws it, it's like it just looks so like pure.
yeah, I think it's a stance too. Like, there's something about Simon that just looks like, okay, I'm just here to make this right now. Go. And everyone else kind of has their routine and their like little quirks that like make them not look like they're like confident. And it just looks like he's like, all right, one more, let's do it, and then goes. And I love it.
Taylor, who was your guy that you said?
Bowman.
Paul Oman was
So
my
none
original.
of us chose to say Paul Macbeth.
Listen,
I've-
I did say last week, I said, Paul looks like something is slightly off. And if he could get that together, he'd be fine. And then I just turned around and he could get it together.
I'm telling you right now, me watching Paul Macbeth miss like circle edge putts is something that like I can't fathom because I feel like he's so automatic.
You know what would
Yeah.
help with that though? The birdie marvel.
Laid you up.
Tw-
I'll lace you up
2022
with
part
that.
of the year, baby.
Yeah.
Hey,
it
also,
was.
the first time he was ever on Jomez, and it happened to be, and Big Germ was like, I was just really hoping to get you on. I just wanted to get you on.
Yeah.
And then Paul's talking with them on Jomez about how he's planting and pulling through at the same time instead of planting and then pulling through. And he's
Yeah.
like, if I can fix this, I could be really good this weekend. And then evidently he fixed it and was really good this weekend.
Now,
Direct.
go ahead, Taylor.
I was just gonna say, I think that like a big part of, I think what a lot of people don't talk about with, I don't know if it's the shoulder injury or like struggles Paul's gone through, but like the past 2 years, he has iterated on his form a lot. Like his form has changed quite a bit over the past 2 years. And I don't think for like him trying to get better, I think he's like just trying to figure it out and like trying to get his timing back. Cause like he's gone from like having a really involved like left arm swing to like taking his left arm completely out of his form. And like he's starting to put it back in now. Like, I think that whether it be the shoulder injury or just like him, like losing his timing and trying to figure it out, like his form over the past 2 years has changed like quite a bit.
For sure. Yeah, I mean he's talked a lot about what he needs to be doing for putting form change too. Like he messed around
Yeah.
with it a lot. But that was because of his shoulder injury.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was cool to see Paul in it. I still doesn't look like he's like there. Like it looks like he's still like maybe like 70%. But
I mean, especially like I think, and we'll talk about this more later, but what surprised me the most is like, I feel like you go into the final round and like Macbeth's down. What was it like the start, like 4 or 5? And I feel like, a couple of years ago, you're like, oh, Paul's winning that. Like, this is Paul's,
Right.
what he lives for, like being down on the final day and just like chase somebody down. His front nine was so flat, though. Like, to your point, he could just not get a circle 2 putt to stay in the basket. So, whether that be the baskets or just breaks or, coming out a little flat, like, that's just like, I think a piece isn't there. You're definitely right. Like, he's not all the way back, but he's looked way better than he has in the past. So it was fun to watch.
Yeah, I'd love to, like, if there was some way scientifically to figure out how much of him having a kid takes away from everything with him in disc golf, because
No, I think he just needs another disc release.
another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, same molds, maybe a different plastic or something. Yeah,
Find another Greek god. Make a new one.
yeah.
For sure. He needs something because there's not enough. We need more. We need more. So also, no one really said anything about Ricky, which is
Hey, I got a rant
fascinating.
about Ricky coming. Don't worry.
Which is fascinating. But speaking of Ricky took to Instagram because he hit a spotter, and he didn't know that until he saw video coverage and someone told him, or people told him when he went up. But another year, another spotter hit. Last year, we had a couple different spotters were hit, and essentially, Ricky got on Instagram and said, "This is really, or not really bad, but like really disappointing." And he was kind of upset about it. But he said, "I hope the spotter is okay," and that was pretty much it. Like, he wasn't trying to blame the spotter, but still was really upset about it. So, question is this becoming a problem, or is this just part of spectating, essentially?
Oh, me. Can I please
Go
go
ahead.
first on this one?
The
This
man
makes
wearing
me-
my same sweatshirt.
We're matching today. This makes me so mad. You know why Ricky didn't know he hit a spotter and was like, oh, the shot went out of bounds? Because he threw the shot out of bounds. The shot was horrible. Like, you can be mad if it was going to come back. Like, the shot was supposed to be a hyzer and flipped over and like was drifting right. Like, it was a terrible shot that went OB and deserved to go OB. So I like coming on to social media, and to your point, like, he's like playing coy, like, I hope the spotter's okay. Like, can't believe I hit a spotter. It's so annoying. You threw the shot out of bounds, and Ricky is like one of the most famous examples of being positively benefited by like hitting things that were inbounds that kept him in. So like, he of all people to complain about this just made me so mad. I've been waiting for this question all day. It's so stupid.
GMC 23. He hit that umbrella, kept him in bounds.
Umbrella Gate.
Umbrella Gate. Yeah, good time, dude. Yeah, dude. Like, I'm so sick of like Ricky, because like, well, the other thing is that like, he also put up an emoji in his story of like the angry, like mad emoji. And then it was like, but I hope the spotter's okay. It's like, dude, you can't have both. You can't eat your cake and have it too. Like, and so, so Taylor, to answer the question exactly, is it just part of the spectating, or is there a problem though with hitting spectators?
There's
or not
the
spectators, but
spotters.
spotter.
Yeah. I mean, spectator spotters, whoever, they're on the course for everybody, and they're out of bounds. They're out of play, and they are there for every person. They are a part of the course. If you don't want to hit a spotter and stay OB, don't throw your disc OB.
Yeah, the only one I can think of is AB hitting the person in the middle of the fairway next to that
Which
sand
I
trap.
have a different opinion on that, because you're in the like you're. I get that you're in a sand trap, but you're in the fairway at that point. Like, if
That's what
you're-
I'm saying.
I mean,
That's the only one that you can say like, okay, that one's fine. You should be upset about that. All
No.
the rest of them, don't throw over OB, hoping that it's going to come back.
Matt,
Which
you
I get
happen-
it too if it's like a play that like, okay, 90% of the people are throwing over here and like throwing a hyzer. That was not the shot he was trying to throw, like, at all.
But you know, he threw almost exact same shot the day before, and somehow he got a back kick, and it kicked him like within circle one. But it was it went around the hole and then kicked forward behind, like towards the hole from behind. It was very strange. Yeah, and he finished like 7 back of Simon. Like, who cares?
Yeah, he was like, this is the thing that kind of ticks me off. He was like, at the same time, he was like, oh man, I would just love to see that video. Like, what happened here, you know? And then someone sends it, and
He
he's
lost
like,
to Paul. He lost to Macbeth. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's why he's fired up. Yeah.
and then he was like, well, who knows what would have happened If I
Would have
had,
lost by 1 to Paul.
yeah,
If
you
it
would've-
wasn't if
you
it
would've
wasn't
lost.
clearly, the thing that gets me, if it wasn't like clearly out of bounds, you would have thought beforehand, like, oh, that must have hit somebody and stayed OB. Like he knows originally, like, oh, I threw that out of bounds. Like I'm not gonna question, like, oh, is it gonna come back in? Was it close? Like you threw it OB.
Yeah, so the whole time it's like he's like, oh, I want to make sure the spotter's okay, but like, dang, what could have
coulda
happened if the
happened?
spotter wasn't there? And it's like, bro,
I would have magically won the
tournament.
tournament. Like
He's like, that greatest momentum play of all time. He's
Yeah.
gonna play.
That spotter
would've
cost
aced
me
next
12
turn.
strokes.
Yeah, shoot. So he's like, I mean, like that was the thing. It was just such weird. At first, it was like, someone says I hit a spotter on 18. Dang, that stinks. Is a person okay? And then the next post, he's kind of like, well, imagine what the tournament would have been like. And I was like, bro, stick with one or stick with the other. Don't you throw musties, all get outshot, and then one that wants to be mad about it. But yeah, it
you're
was definitely a
making
little
you're
weird.
making more than that shot came up for one day at your Airbnb in Phoenix, brother, or
Yeah,
Tucson, wherever it's at. So
and I've
you'll
already
be-
scheduled it for a whole month there.
You'll
so.
be all right, Rick.
And I was really surprised he didn't like make that an advertising opportunity where he was like, yeah, and I hit the spotter with my new Saki Bomb
Yeah, with
General.
the Saki Bomb General.
That's what he should have done.
That's why he's so mad about it. That's why he's pressed. This is a bad press for his new general, man.
I'm just really sick of
Suck a
pros.
bomb general and save some time.
Yeah, I'm just sick of pros complaining about that kind of stuff, dude. Like it's not. I don't find it to be a good look for. the
Especially when
sport.
it's someone volunteering to help you. Like, I mean,
She says he's like, yeah, I get it. They volunteer. They help us. It's like, just leave it alone, dude. It does not matter. 100%, Taylor. Yeah,
sorry, I got fired up about that one, but
I love
So,
it.
reasonably so. It
That's
kinda
the-
pissed me off, too.
Yeah, I had a feeling about that when I was like, all right, what question can we ask to get Taylor fired up?
there it is.
There it is. He's triggered. Now we know. Now we know. The more you know. All right. And then one of the kind of like lasting questions regarding this tournament I was thinking about was there's a lot of things that happen in this tournament in general that we've already gone over, but there's also some really lackluster like play out of players that are really, really good. So I'm wondering whose performance were you most disappointed in the end as well? Who we got? I can
Chandler Kramer.
go.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, he just. I'm
The
still.
Chanimal?
I'm.
Not
No,
the
not the
Chanimal.
Chanimal.
I know, I'm joking.
That threw me off really bad. That was weird.
But speaking of the
no,
Chanimal, real quick, I have not seen the Chanimal anywhere near the top 50.
He was hurt for a
anyways.
little bit, I believe.
Oh, is that it? Is that what it is?
I know he missed some tournaments. I used to like control effing Chanimal and PDGA Live. Like that's gonna come up. But yeah, he missed some tournaments being hurt.
So it actually directly shows up. They've got
It
it
just
coded in
takes
there.
you right
So,
to
like,
him.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
You got some signature
Uh,
myths coming out though.
Yeah, Chandler Kramer, are you joking, Corey? Are you serious, man? What do you?
No, the fact that he like posted about like, you know, my sponsor this year is me because I know my potential, I know what I'm gonna do, and then every post that I see is like, well, I didn't play as well as I
Oh, that
wanted to. So I don't know. It's a joke, but at the same time, I don't see where he's like getting all of this like.
And it was a forehand course.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't see all the ammo that he can like take for next year and be like, see, this is why I should be
Contract to your
paid
Calvin.
this much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm glad
I mean,
you brought up the Instagram post side because I'm just gonna roll right into mine. My guy that I root for, that I want to just to get better, Kevin Jones,
Yeah.
comes on Instagram and is like, man, game's coming together. I feel
Oh.
great. I got tied 20th this weekend. Like that's so sick. Like how far have we fallen, KJ?
Yeah,
like where are
I
we
know.
at, my guy? We're out here putting together the motivational Instagram post that things are coming together for a 20th place.
Yeah.
So sick, got top 50, baby. I was just feeling really good.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't feel good. I saw the same thing and I was like, and I thought like, I didn't think it was that bad. I was like, I don't know if I would post like, oh, we got 20th. And then now that you're saying like how far have we fallen, I'm like, okay, yeah, I felt the same way, but I didn't want to like fully express it. That's really sad. We can go down and we can go around in a circle many times about who we're disappointed about, because there's a lot of guys that I feel like. But Matt, what's one for you?
Dude, you could say Calvin Heimberg, but you could more importantly say James Proctor.
Where
is
is he
he?
at, man?
This
event-
61st.
This
61st
event,
place.
yeah, this event, but any event all season. Bro
Where's
used
he
to be
at?
like a top 15. Where did little bro go? Someone get his new Centurions out, and maybe it'll help him out here. But I'm so last year I literally was like, oh, you could expect James Proctor in the top 20 or the top 15 at least, and he's done nothing all year. And this, I'm looking at the list for this question, and I look down and I see him on here, and I was like, forget even specific to this event. In general, bro is just playing awful or just not playing anything.
No, I mean, go back to like start of the season when we started this, where like Proctor's in somebody's top 3 every week, right? Like, where is my man gone?
Backwards.
Did he change his bag?
Yes.
A little bit, yeah. But he put in some old stuff that he used to throw.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. Like, I know he's put in throughout the season too. Like, he's got a new signature TSA mold coming out, and I don't know. I don't know if he's like trying to force some stuff in from sponsorships, but like, yeah, something's going on.
Listen, I don't want to throw shade at this man because he's a rare specimen, but if you're getting beat by Jake Wolf, you got to question yourself.
Think
right?
about it.
Jake got 42nd this week. And so anyone below that, it's like, shame on you. How did you lose to that man? So
Don't hate on Jake Wolf.
now I'm
He's
throwing
catching
shade. Now I'm
strays,
throwing
bro. He's
shade.
catching strays.
Yeah, you're getting real
man.
shade.
He's a cool guy.
So my 4 picks this week were Gannon, Isaac Robinson, Eagle, who died, rest in peace, and Jake Hebenheimer. Okay, I'm telling you right now, I am the biggest freaking jinx.
I was
on
we
the face of the
gotta
earth.
talk about the Hebenheimer
Okay.
situation.
so funny.
Okay,
This
okay.
is so
We're gonna save Hebenheimer for my end of my rant. Everyone, just buckle up
Yeah.
for a minute and bear with me. Okay, I'm gonna start with Gannon. Gannon, you are butt.
He's talking to his
Okay.
team right now. It's in the locker room.
Gannon,
Yeah, we're all looking in on the locker room.
Gannon, I choose you every week, it feels like, and you do nothing. And then when I don't choose you, you do something. Like his putting the last round and throwing was atrocious. Like, think about it. You've grown up like wanting to compete with the best. You have been playing really well when Paul and some of the other guys haven't been playing at their best. And then you have your moment on lead card with Paul and Simon and Chris Dickerson, and Ricky's right behind you or in front of you. And you have your moment to beat these guys on the card, and you fall flat on your face and you shoot like 2 over on the front. And I don't even know what he shot on the end. I think maybe even par, but he played so bad in the final round. I was like, are you kidding me? He like fell off the face of the earth. Okay, there's Gannon. Let's talk about Isaac for a minute. He had a decent week last week. He threw the disc well, and he was on lead card. And I'm thinking, okay, Champions Cup winner last year. He's getting a little warmed up going in the Champions Cup. This course requires you to shape your second shot left to right and a couple different angles, okay? The man comes in 71st place. The world champion, 2-time major champion, comes in 71st place. 2 under is what he shot for the entire tournament. A 1040 rated player. Absolutely garbage and atrocious. Eagle, like I said, drops out, leaves me hanging. And then finally, we come to Jake Hebenheimer. Jake Hebenheimer has been one of the best outside the top 40 players the entire season. I haven't taken him. I've been keeping my eye on him. Taylor's been tearing it up with the dark horse. Taylor took, who did you take, Taylor?
Silas Schultz.
Silas Schultz. And I guess what? Guess who took Silas Schultz last week? Me. And he did not putt well, and I lost by 1 stroke to Taylor for dark horse. This week, I'm looking at this, and Hebenheimer is 20 under par, which is 1 better than Silas Schultz, with 2 holes to go that are not hard holes. They're really not. And I text a group, hey, Taylor was a good, or something like Taylor was a good run with Dark Horse, but he's on
No. Let me do it exactly. It's important that it's done exactly.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm saying something about AB, and I'm going to cry because I'm not going to get any points this week. Tyler says, more importantly, Taylor's Dark Horse streak is in jeopardy. And he said, I have Hebenheimer. Taylor has Silas Schultz. Taylor then says, Jake finishing the last 4 +8. Watch out.
Oh, and then read the next part where Taylor's like,
and then Taylor says, I will personally pay Jake a couple $100 to bogey RN. Anyone have his number?
As we are going through this conversation, I don't look to see what's going on at that point.
I'm watching like a hawk, by the way.
I'm not. I am not. I think it was just because we had we had a baby shower Sunday, and I missed, and I was missing it or something. I don't know, but I saw the scores, and I was like, "Yo, Dark Horse locked it, ended that streak." I come back to Discord where we're in our group chat, and they're saying biggest jinx ever, all this stuff, and I'm like, "What is happening?" He then proceeds to bogey the last 2 holes and lose to Silas Schultz by 1 stroke. You cannot make this up. I went from like Gannon being on lead card, potential top 3 to getting a point. Hebenheimer had me locked up and getting 1 point. I thought Eagle was going to be up there, and I thought Isaac was on a heater or getting hotter, and blew it. I'm so disappointed in my team. Like, if I had to pick one of them to be the most disappointed in, it's probably Isaac. 71st place, it's unacceptable. It's ridiculous. And I hold on. I saw Scott say too much hot sauce on Gannon. No, he's a proven winner. He's a major champion. You cannot fall. You cannot not fall. You can't falter like that with Paul McBeth and Simon on the card. And we'll throw Chris Dickerson in there as well. It's ridiculous. You got to be able to step up in those moments. He had his chance and blew it. All right, I'm done.
Listen.
I love it.
Here's the funny thing. No one ever expected to be playing our Dark Horse picks for 9th and 10th place in the tournament.
That's true. It's pretty high.
And then we are, and they've magically picked not only 9th and 10th place Dark Horses, some of the only Dark Horses available other than like Ty Love.
Yeah.
And let's see. And Jeremy Colling might be outside the top 40.
He might have been.
They've picked the only 2 people that could possibly do this. And then Tyler is finally going to beat Taylor in one of the closest races of all time.
And Taylor picked Silas Schultz that I picked last week, and I lost to Taylor by 1 stroke with.
Bro, it's gonna be tragic when I take Hebenheimer for Champions Cup. He's like top 5.
and then
I was gonna say Taylor and Corey are gonna get first dibs at Dark Horse, so I get the scraps.
Yeah,
so.
and then the message comes across. It's 6:44. Let's go, Jake. OB is all get out. That man's gone. The worst jinx of all time. And when
it
Tyler
is.
comes back
It's
to it,
the
it
worst
was
jinx.
So funny, dude.
I was like, I can't believe. And by the way, my brother says I'm the worst jinx of all time, and it's hit or miss. But I proved it right there for certain.
No, I was just watching. I was just sitting in this very spot playing some games. I had coverage up on the side in PGJ Live, and I had the same thing. Like he's like on hole 8 or 17. He's up a stroke. I'm like, okay, this is not gonna go my way this time. And I look over, and it's like OB on second shot on 17. I was like, no way. You're saying there's a chance. So he goes back down
Not
to
even
20.
that hard.
And then I was like kind of paying attention, half paying attention, and the coverage comes on like, oh, and here's Jake Hebenheimer's tee shot on 18, and I look over at my other monitor, and it is just sailing out of bounds, bro. It looks like Rick's shot. I was like, yes.
He went. Listen to this. In rounds 1 and 2, he went a combined 3 under on those 2 holes, and round 3, 2 over.
Tough.
Ridiculous.
Tough.
Also, Scott said too much hot sauce for Gannon. He's talking about the GK Pro skins match, which is
I
they
heard
did
about
hot
that.
sauce and it was the Discmania boys. So
I'm gonna have to go watch
and
it 'cause I'm
Isaac
I need
really-
to
Robinson.
watch that.
I was excited because I saw a preview for that. I'm like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So there's a couple other people that you can just rip names off that I'm kind of disappointed about as well. Like Aaron Gossage, I thought maybe it was an opportunity because he's a bomber forehander. He got
where's your
23rd,
boy?
just like Chandler Kramer. And there's a couple other people we talked about. Calvin, Joey Anderson's been falling off a little bit. He got 34th. Adam Hemmes, big forehand guy, 38th. Not as good as I had thought. And there was another couple. I mean, Paul Ulibarri's down here, 56. I didn't think it was that long of a course. Thought he could handle it pretty well. Ben Callaway, 66. He's been hot. He's down here too. So
Something going on with Yuli, by the way. Like, I feel like I watched a little bit of that practice round, Matt, the Jonas Pro practice round, and he was like not throwing any forehands and was like complaining about like how forehand heavy it was.
Yeah, he wasn't throwing any forehands, and he was like, I can't get anything to flip today. And I'm like, what's going? Like, there's nothing specific. Yuli is probably one of the people that takes, like, if you watch his Yuli report every day after he comes home from the course, he does an ice bath and he like stretches for like, and then he putts for like ages because he's just an older in the terms.
He's not old. He's not old. Remember,
older.
He got really upset how he was called the old Paul.
The older Paul, or whatever. But in his case, he's just got to do more work to keep up. But yeah, he says that all the time. And then he did a distance video with Ezra last offseason, and he was putting him over 500. And he was like,
I'm just saying,
you got that.
I'm just saying, clip this and send it to Tour Life. Yuli, you can't be telling people you have a top 5 forehand of all time and then not throw a forehand and complain about how forehand heavy a course is. That's
well, how about Macbeth roasting him on the practice round, saying he's throwing a force or something like that, and he's like, "You only got 250 for that." He's like,
"What?" Remember that?
And he's like, "You don't have 300?" And he was like, "Nah," and like he like was quiet about it. It's like, it's like, yikes! Like
shots.
Yeah, that is shots. If you don't have a 300-foot forehand, yikes, dude. One more guy I want to throw in the list, and then we can kind of move on to making some picks and whatnot. Matty O, 81st place.
Yeah, it's tough.
That is really tough. I didn't see that one coming at all. So,
one thing before we move on real quick.
Please.
I know FPO is kind of FPO. The mathematicians have mathematicianized. Kristen will hit 1,000 in the next update.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that is she will be the first 1,000 rated female.
But what if something happens with Champions Cup?
I don't know. I was kind of curious about that too. If like the dates, because that's technically it. I guess it doesn't end in May. Actually, I don't know. I saw somewhere on Facebook. It could be fake news that he was pretty locked for hitting 1,000.
Got it. One more person I want to bring
go
up.
And shoot 500 in Champions Cup. Then it's
She'll
all downhill.
be fine. No, she'll be fine because she'll be so low.
Oh, yeah, it'll drop off.
They'll drop off. Kyle Klein dropped from the event. Has anyone heard why? From Music City. He dropped midway.
I know Brody was quote tweeting somebody saying that it's kind of sus that him and Cynthia both DNF'd. I kind of feel like they were both just not playing well and said, let's just go practice for the major instead of like missing cash here.
Probably.
He shot 1 under round 1 and then DNF'd.
That is tough.
So I really, really, really don't like people who DNF after a bad round. So that's not a good look for Team Discmania. But yeah, I mean, those are the questions I was really focusing on. Did you guys have any other comments you want to make from Music City Tournament? I do want to make a comment about what happened on Saturday as well, officially for Unfinished Business. So if you lived under a rock and you don't know this, there was a suspension play happened on Saturday because of, I'm going to make sure I get this correctly, a threat that was directed towards one player, and they kept on saying towards one player. We all know who it was towards. It was towards Natalie Ryan. We don't know what kind of threat that was. We don't know how the threat, but they had to, it was such a threat where they had to shut it down, and then they had to suspend play. And I mean, we all can give an opinion, or it can just be me. It doesn't matter to me. That cannot happen in disc golf. Like, I mean, I've made it apparent on here. I don't care for Natalie Ryan playing in the MPO or FPO, but to have something like that happen is absolutely uncalled for. And honestly, it's quite disgusting that someone is nervous and also has to worry about a threat for something happening to them on the disc golf course because of something going on, or because of, we'll just say, like, their sexuality, right? There should be no reason why players are going on the course and being worried about being threatened and violence or anything like that, and especially hate on the course. You can disagree all you want about if somebody should be playing in a certain division or anything like that, but like, for someone to be threatened like that and have to shut down the entire tournament for however long period of time to handle the situation is really ridiculous, and it's really not good for disc golf and for, we'll just say, like, humanity in general. Like, no one deserves to be threatened with violence or anything like that. So really disappointing to see that. I really hope this doesn't mean that there will be an issue in Tennessee moving forward when they reschedule events for next year, because I really enjoyed watching the tournament. I know more of the holes now after watching, because I love the shot shaping for the second shots for a lot of these holes, and I hope that doesn't affect that. So I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything else about that.
No, yeah, I was gonna say something too. I completely agree, and especially, you know, I think people that know me know that I live on a side of the political spectrum that may not align with a lot of disc golf in general, especially not, you know, the area where I live. But I hate that we, as a society, have gotten to a point where we can't disagree amicably. And we can't accept that the rules are the rules, and Natalie is not breaking any rules. She's just a person that is trying to exist and play a game that we all love. Especially someone that has gone through so much and is a person that deals with a lot of different things. I think I would hope that disc golf can be a place that, you know, people can escape from that type of reality. I'm very saddened that it's gotten, you know, into, you know, it's bled into disc golf as much as it had has other places. I also was very disappointed. Again, you know, I am a proud Tennessee native. I was proud to live in Nashville, and I lived there. I hope that this doesn't take away from the chances for it to be a tour stop in the future. I still hope that it gets to a course that is more demonstrably like Nashville type disc golf, because I don't think that course is, but it's still a good course. And I think Nashville is a very good stop, a very good, you know, disc golf city. And I'm, you know, fearful that, you know, some actions of some people that, you know, cannot be, you know, condoned in any piece of society, but especially something like disc golf that's as touted as accessible and inclusive as disc golf is. You know, I just genuinely hope it doesn't take away from the city, and was just very disappointed.
Yep. I agree.
I think me and Taylor both agree that we need to sign a petition to bring the Pro Tour to Crockett Park, because that is just...
Put some tee pads in that place, please.
You know, yeah. Enough with the carpet.
The movie theater carpet is held on for as long as it can.
But the course itself is phenomenal.
Of course, it's sick.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into Champions Cup for a few minutes. I don't really have anything specific that I was thinking about asking, but my main question I was thinking about is, you are looking forward to Champions Cup. You are looking forward to Champions Cup because of why? How could you finish that sentence?
Because Chris Dickerson is going to win.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, you just think it's time for him to come back and get it?
Yeah, and also just seeing how he's performing right now. I think he's making good moves, and this is the course that's going to suit him, and he's going to win, and then I'm going to, you know, throw a party.
Yeah, he has been very good in Circle 1 putting from this past weekend, just taking a quick look. Not the best from Circle 2, but yeah, I mean, he's playing well, obviously. So it was good to see. What else we got? You were excited most about Champions Cup because
4 rounds at Northwoods Black.
Yeah, baby. That was gonna be mine. Tell me about it, Matt. What are you excited?
I am excited to see who can just die from this course and who can just barely survive. That's my biggest thing. Like, it's so funny because it's just at a distinctly different place than Champions Cup normally is. Like, you have to really, really watch some coverage of Northwoods Black and consider, like, what exactly is this about to look like, and for what player? What player is going to be able to hit like 75% of their fairways and take pars? Because although birdies will definitely do you well, it'd be better to do that than birdie and bogey for 4 rounds. Like, there are going to be some people with some astronomically high scores here. And it's going to be funny, but really sad when it's our favorite player in 100th place because they shot 1 round and just couldn't hit fairways. And it's just a GG's for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that. I'm mostly excited to see what kind of player wins at 4 rounds at this type of course, because I feel like that's not a test that we've seen yet, really, like in recent memory of disc golf, where we have the wooded open concept for a lot of major tournaments. I did hear Nate did an interview with PDJ Radio and was talking about how they took 4 holes out of the black layout and they're playing 4 holes of the 2019 Worlds layout that are a bit more like park-ish style. I think like park style for like the Northwood property, so probably not super park style, but I think it's going to produce a unique winner. Like, I think it's going to rely heavily on the mental game. You're talking about going out and playing, not even just the tournament, but practice rounds. You're playing, 90, 100 hours on the most challenging course, that we've seen the pros play. Is going to take a different kind of like mental ability to tune out and get over, taking a triple bogey on a hole and just going on to the next one and be like, all right, back to work.
Yeah. I think I'm most excited to watch some of these guys who've been playing really well at the beginning of the season to see how they do in this difficult course, right? Yeah. Gannon, AB, Niklas, they've been playing really well. And then compare it to what we've seen this past weekend with the old guard. They've been playing really well. Or is it going to be someone out of left field that's going to win just because they shred like Woods courses? One player in particular, just because he's been on my mind the last several months, that I'm hopefully excited to see is Nathan Queen. Dude shreds wood courses really tight. He's been hurt the last year, and now he's finally healthy. I think he finished 33rd last week. And so someone like that, right? Good woods player. Excited to see if they can survive and be up there at the top. So I'm pumped to watch. And I'm also, I'm not going to lie to you. The one person I'm going to be watching is Eagle McMahon. So, I'll be interested to see how he does. And unfortunately, he's got to go to the most difficult course and get it done. And he's not known for being the best woods player, so we'll see what happens. So hopefully he doesn't get hurt and he's okay. So
keep him out of a car. Somebody drive him. Don't let him reach for anything.
Someone grab his whatever he needed from the back seat. His hoodie or whatever he was looking for. So, all right, it is officially picks time. And we haven't made a decision off air, so we need to make a decision. Do we want to make majors double points or 1.5 times points?
I think double.
I'm voting for double.
Let's do double. Let's not get into that half point thing.
I have an
decimals. Heck no.
After this, I'm with you. Yeah. After this week, I have an idea for some point changes after this week, but I'll talk about that like next week maybe, or off air. Just because I thought it'd be fun to kind of like shake it up a little bit as well. So
we have a points update.
Yes, we need to. I was about to go over that right now before we go into our picks. So last week, Matt picked up 0 points. He had AB, Ezra, and Gavin. Tyler was in line to pick up 2 points and picked up no points. And I had Gannon, Isaac, Eagle, and Hebenheimer. Taylor picked up, I think, 2 points. He picked up He picked up Silas Schultz for the dark horse and picked up Ricky with
Go,
the
Rick.
podium finish.
Don't listen to the podcast, Rick.
And then Corey had Simon Cole, Goose, and Casey White picked up another win this year, and he's at 12 points. So point total goes as Corey 12, Taylor 9, Tyler 6, and Matt 5. So I've been stuck on 6 points for 3 weeks now. So
666.
it's been bad. It's not happening. No way. I got to get something here. So it'll go as same order. So Matt, Tyler, Taylor, and Corey for picks. And we are going to be picking double points. And Matt, the floor is yours.
Okay. I am cooked. I have no clue. All of my logic is out the window. It doesn't matter if I choose proven winners this year. They're gone. It doesn't matter if I choose proven losers. It doesn't matter if I choose players who have been playing.
In my
wildly well.
opinion, this is the toughest week we've had so far.
Yeah,
this
and-
is
and
this
we're
is a
on the
tough one
toughest
to
week.
pick. Like,
Because you, like I said in the beginning, you got all the guys who's been winning. The old guard is coming back, and also it's tightly wooded course.
Yeah, so I think I'd be dumb not to take a Robinson, but I'm definitely not going to take Isaac, considering the little bro popped a 71 out. To be honest, I don't even know where Ezra did, but I'm not going to check because that seems to work for Corey just fine. So Ezra Robinson, it is for my first pick.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ezra Robinson is the very first pick
That's
to win a
wild.
major. Unbelievable, dude. All right. There's a lot of things that I can do here. I don't know how many forehand shots need to be thrown.
no,
And if-
no.
So- I'm very concerned about one player in particular, but I'm going back looking at what people did at Northwood Black last year. And it's very difficult not to take Calvin Heimberg, and he will be my first pick for the first major, Calvin Heimberg.
Thought about it, but didn't want to go for it.
I have to do it.
Respect. Who's next on this list?
I think he mentioned, by the way, that if he needed to, he would break out the forehand this week for a scramble shot. So that's what I heard. Taylor gets first pick, or next pick.
Next pick. Give me a guy that's won big events, has won here, has won 4-round events. Give me. I just trashed him. Give me Richard Wysocki.
Yep, that was another one I wanted to take.
All right.
Corey?
Completely Corey.
All right, we're going Chris Dickerson.
Here's the winner right here, Corey. Corey's picking him. So
Yeah.
What else are you picking, Corey, man?
And then I'm taking Isaac.
Oh man, dude, he's loaded.
Dude, this is I don't know about this.
Matthew.
I don't know about anything, man.
Matthew.
My data would say different, but who cares about my data?
See,
and
that,
how
that's the
players are
thing.
doing and-
You trash talk me for not paying attention to the data, and then you
The data
you
doesn't
take the
matter.
data.
How many points behind
Take
is he
that
from
for
you?
data.
7?
He's
Yeah, so
I'm
what's-
more than
what's the gap
double.
here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
the
the
data
I know the
doesn't
gap's up.
lie, and you're losing.
All right, Taylor.
All
back
right,
to you.
everybody get ready to clown on me. The momentum's in his way. It's a major coming up. How do you not pick the 6-time Paul McBeth?
Yeah.
I was actually going
thought
to pick
that
him,
was-
so that's a reasonable pick.
Yeah.
There, man.
All right. I gotta check one thing.
Let's see.
Okay.
What do you need to check, brother? Can I check something for you? What does Jeremy Coling not have a disc golf scenes account? This is not a joke. This is not a joke. You can click on everyone else's. You have to look on the wait list. You can click on everyone else's name and go to their disc golf scene account. And it's everyone. The only people who don't have one are Chris Dickerson, Ezra Aderhold, and Jeremy Coling.
Germ's got extorted in Mexico, man. Be nice to him.
I'm really upset that there aren't season-long stats that we can look at because I want to know
Same.
who's the best scrambler right now because that would be
Yeah.
that'd be one of the things I want to take a look at. I'm gonna just talk out loud with my thought process. I think it's fine to do. I wish Kyle Klein was playing well because I feel like this is a Kyle Klein type course. Oh man.
I actually was also going to pick Kyle Klein. That's a reasonable.
I don't know why I thought Chris Dickerson was going to stick around. That was really stupid. But I had to take Calvin, you know.
Dude, corny Corey over here. Completely.
All right, you know
corny,
what?
Extremely corny over here.
I'm a
Maybe
man
he's
of my
not taking
word.
Chris Dickerson.
I said this guy would win as my early season. I got to go Colbert Allen.
I was gonna pick him
Colbert
too.
Allen.
Yeah, I thought about it too, man.
He was my early season pick to win this. That was my hot take. So I have to stick to my guns.
I don't even worry about him like playing on the court. Like I worry about his mental more thing than.
Yeah, I agree.
You want it
Dude,
before?
I don't even know what to do here. None of this matters. None of looking at the oldest. None of,
Just know if Corey picks the
no.
winner, your season's over.
Yeah, I'm cooked. What I'm saying is, even looking at last year, right? You gotta yeah, you gotta not consider some of this stuff because it's 4 rounds at Northwoods. I'm gonna do it. I have to just believe. I'm gonna do Paul Ulibarri.
Let's go.
Hey,
I have to believe, dude. I have to believe that Little Bro can hit a fairway and still be the best putter on tour.
Best putter on the planet.
What do you think he would get more upset about? Being the old Paul
or Little Bro?
Little Bro.
I know the same thing.
I'll ask him sometime and I'll say, which makes you
when
more
we get
mad?
our cameo on Tour Life, we get to be a guest, but we're all in one box, like just the 4-piece.
Yep.
Like
We're just well convinced.
Yeah.
One of us says something controversial enough. I tell Brody Smith I could beat him at some course, and he offers $1,000 and watches me nose up shot 250 feet.
All right, Matt, you get your last one right now. Last pick.
This is so important. I'm cooked.
There's still a lot of big names out there.
Yeah, but none of them are playing that well. Let me.
I already know who I'm taking, so
Iguodala.
I say that every week.
I love it,
dude. He's not well set up.
Because Corey says, "Give me," and I go Iguodala.
He's not well set up for this course in the slightest, but give me a B.
Yeah.
Because I just gotta at least assume
That's a Hail Mary. Got to take it. I'm taking Nicklaus. He did not play in this tournament. He didn't play in the tournament last year, so you can't look at anything he did. So.
He's got some extra practice. Give me Kyle Klein.
Yeah, that's that's what I said. All right, Corey, last pick.
All right, I'm going the Alpina Prince himself. We're going Marweed.
I was going to take him too,
that.
man. That's a great pick. I love that.
I also considered that.
He finished top 5 last year.
Yep.
I love that.
Actually, I said yep, but I don't even remember last year. So.
Yep.
He goes, yep.
That's right.
Yeah, he did.
And then most importantly, Corey,
I have so much more stress about this than anything else, man.
Oh, I already know who I'm taking, but I know he will be gone by the time he gets to me. I already know.
I'm gonna go Luke Humphreys.
Oh, spicy.
That actually is spicy.
Yep.
Dang, bro, I didn't know you were like that. But...
I gotta check to see who's even
dabble in the spice
on the list.
I got one of those in a basket back here, a bucket back there.
Taylor,
what
are you doing
okay.
here,
I think I'll tell you what. I have put more analytical thought into this pick than anything else in my life. Maybe not my life, but way more than any other pick because there's so much pressure on this now. This guy shot the second best rounds at Northwoods last year at Ledgestone. He made a top 10 at Northwood. He shot 1049 and 1055 when they played there, and it is Casey White.
Yep, that was.
I was
going
to take that.
Yeah, we all were. Dang it!
Yep,
now I
all
gotta
of
now
us.
I gotta rethink.
I will say I was also thinking of a guy you mentioned earlier, Tyler, Nathan Queen. I feel like Nathan Queen
Yeah.
could pop off.
Yeah. He's not totally my backup, but he was going to be my backup. All right. This guy, I was going to joke for a second and say Gannon Burr.
Nobody picked
right.
Gannon, huh?
Nobody.
How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah. Man, I got to look.
I actually think I whiffed my pick by going Paul Ulibarri instead of Joseph Anderson. Lil bro can just play shots, and I didn't even think about that. I mean, I whiffed it by going Paul, but I just believe in Paul. There's no logic there. Corey believes in Chris Dickerson. He's gonna win.
I have that like Barsby tingle, you know?
You know what? You got the Barsby tingle.
Yeah, you
brother.
should probably
Major
get that
champion.
checked out.
Yeah, you best be getting that checked out before.
Got urgent
Charlotte.
care for that, man.
I'm not trying to catch.
I'm not trying to catch the
Barsby tingle from you in Charlotte, North Carolina, brother.
All right. I want to check one thing. Sorry, I'm taking forever. I want to check one thing, and then I know what I'm doing. Where are you, son of a? Hold on.
Sonova is like near the bottom.
Hold on one sec. Just want to check. Okay, cool. Not doing that.
Bro, I have not watched a disc golf video in like 2. So excited whenever I sit down and watch disc golf vids.
The hot sauce one's got to be. All right, I'm going to go Nathan Queen.
Yes.
Yep. Put some respect on it. I'm going to do it. My boy Nathan, not Nate. Nathan, get it done.
Get it right.
All right.
My last take, I've got to go with him. He said he's locking in for 1 month.
Yes,
To
dude,
see what can happen. And it's time to see if he did lock in. Give me Brody Smith for
go.
4 rounds at Northwoods Black.
Dude, I wanted to take Hebenheimer so bad, but he finished 92nd in this thing last year.
Yeah, I
That's the
saw that.
thing.
I was like, yeah.
I have no idea who to pick outside the
Now,
top 40.
All right. Now, also, Gavin Rathbun played a good second time at Northwoods Black last year. He shot 1 under, which would have put him like 15th best out of all those people who shot that round. But all right, so let's go through it. This is what we got. Matt has chosen his fate is Ezra Robinson, Paul Ulibarri, and Anthony Barella, and his dark horse is Brody Smith.
I'm not feeling great about that squad. I'm not gonna lie.
Please, I need this.
Unbelievable list.
I have to risk it here.
You didn't have to. There was nothing to risk. You had
who's safe here?
Double
Who's safe
points,
at 4th
baby.
rounds?
Double points.
Bro.
the
That's
fact
fair.
that you took Ezra Robinson as your first pick out of anyone.
That's the first overall pick is pretty sus.
Whoa. What's wrong with that, bro?
You
Haters
could have
gonna hate.
taken him as your second pick
Ezra popped
and
the
your third
fourth.
pick.
Ezra popped the 4th last year.
He did well, but I was not going to take him. Maybe as my second pick. If he was at my third pick, maybe. But
Yeah, could I have changed out Paul Macbeth as my first pick, considering he just played well outside
or
of it?
Calvin
Calvin
or Ricky.
Calvin Schmalvin. Calvin pulled a 34th
All right.
last weekend, blood.
All right. So you're so recency biased. Get out of here. So I chose Calvin, Colbert Allen, Nick Loss, and Nathan Queen. I feel really good about that. Taylor's got Ricky, Paul, Kyle Klein, and Casey White. Stolen Casey White from all of us.
That's tough.
And Corey's got Chris Dickerson, Isaac Robinson, Marweed, and Luke Humphreys. My gosh, dude.
Can
I
I just
swear-
say I was
Yeah.
thinking about picking a guy that's not even playing, and I'm sad about it. Nate Sexton is not even playing this
I was
weekend.
also gonna put Nate Sexton on my list.
What is
I
that,
literally,
man?
I was like, dude, this is the most. The most goated pick ever. I was about to just bank a Nate Sexton.
Is he
Yeah.
And it didn't even
commentating?
matter.
I guess.
I mean, another guy on there that
I
I
don't want to
like.
live in that world. I don't want to live in a world
No.
where Nate Sexton's a commentator and stop playing.
No. Another name that I thought of, Mason Ford, tears up angles pretty well. But I really like the Marweed pick, Corey. That's my favorite pick so
Yeah,
far.
that's a solid
I thought about taking Marweed.
Gaming Brody Smith right now.
Bro, lock in, please.
Bro, I'm simping on you so hard. I chose you as my dark horse.
I'm gonna
If
say,
Brody
bro.
Smith gets top 3 in this event, we have to find a way to get him on this podcast. We'll pull
I
some
heard
money,
you were
put a number out
logging
there.
Matt's a believer.
I picked you as my dark horse.
Just don't tell
For
him not to
the
watch this
first-
though, because
Tell
you
him-
totally.
Tell him to watch out for the Barsby tingle, though.
I
I heard it's
I either win,
All
I
right,
either win
write
this
that down.
or
That's got to be a T-shirt. That's got to be
Barsby
an
tingle.
unfinished business.
I've got the Barsby tingle.
That's where you just like throw Millennium discs and like throw putts 900 feet in the air that fall in the basket.
I'm gonna go buy
It's
me
the
a
Barsby tingle.
what is it called? A cigar bag, SIGR bag.
Oh yeah.
Whatever that is. Oh man. Well, we got an interesting list. We're hoping for the best. Double points here, so anything
Big
could
week.
happen. If Corey gets winner in a podium, he could run away with it really quickly.
I mean, what if Matt just binks the top 3 though? The
could.
Yuli Ezra.
this could be it. Dude, here's my message, bro. I heard you were locking in. I picked you as my dark horse for the first major of the year. I either win this or lose for the rest of the year and can't possibly make a comeback. I believe in the comeback. God bless.
We're sure
And
to
I
see
said-
this screenshot.
You should have put like an
right now.
American flag and eagle after that emoji. That would have been
Just get more American.
America. Yeah. So it'll
Yeah,
be
but Brody would read that. Brody would read that and be like, "He said he picked me, but he put eagle. What the heck?"
Hey, what's going on? What? Is a troll?
Man, for sure. So, well, I'm sure we'll all be having eyes. Don't forget, it starts Thursday, not Friday. It starts Thursday. So, super excited. I will definitely not be texting anyone about Dark Horse stuff this weekend until it's done. Because I'm not trying to get jinxed again. If Nathan Queen loses to Casey White by 1, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It'll be the second week in a row that I've lost my dark horse by 1 to Taylor. So I think Taylor's missed all but 1, and that was when Corey picked Luke Humphreys, and that was it. And Corey's got him again this week, so it'll be exciting. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll shout out Foundation. You can go get foundation.com to get all your favorite disc golf stuff and content, and be on the lookout for next week's episode when we go live and talk about how Matt made a massive comeback, choosing the
With
winner
the
of
sickest
Champions
top
Cup,
3.
choosing the winner of Champions Cup, Paul Ulibarri, backed up by Brody Smith. We'll see you
Are
guys
we-
next week.